You know, it's hard to ignore this feeling that something's just shifted in the world, especially for young people.
Hmm.
There's this unease, a sense that things feel uh, off.
Yeah.
We're going to dive deep into some research today, guided by the work of experts like Jonathan Haidt
Okay.
and Tristan Harris to understand what might be going on.
Right.
Specifically, we're looking at this dramatic decline in teen mental health
Hmm.
and exploring this possible link to technology,
Okay.
this rapid rise of smartphones.
It's certainly not just a feeling. The data paints a stark picture.
Yeah.
Since the early 2010s, rates of depression, anxiety,
Hmm.
self-harm, and even suicide among teens have more than doubled in many cases.
Wow.
What's truly alarming is the suddenness of it all.
Right.
This wasn't a gradual trend. It was like someone flipped a switch.
Yeah, that suddenness is what's so unsettling. And it's not just an American phenomenon, is it?
Exactly. This
Okay.
trend is appearing across all major English-speaking countries
Okay.
and is even spreading to many European nations.
I see.
While there are some who downplay the data,
Right.
the overall trend is widely acknowledged at this point.
Okay, so where do we even begin to unpack this? Jonathan Haidt, a social psychologist who's been studying this issue, uses a striking phrase,
Mm-hmm.
the great rewiring of childhood.
Yeah.
He argues that we've rapidly transitioned from a play-based childhood to a phone-based childhood,
Like,
and that this shift has profound consequences.
and the speed of this rewiring is key.
Mm-hmm.
Think about how long it took for, say, personal computers to become commonplace.
Yeah.
Smartphones and social media achieved mass adoption at an unprecedented pace, the fastest in history.
Wow.
It's like our social structures,
Right?
and most importantly, our children's development,
Yeah.
were caught completely off guard.
It's almost like a cultural tsunami, no time to prepare,
Yeah.
just this massive wave of change watching over everything. What are we losing in this transition? What's the real cost of a phone-based childhood?
Well, consider this. Imagine someone demanding your child spend 5 hours a day on anything,
Okay.
regardless of their schedule.
Mm-hmm.
What activities would get pushed aside? Sleep, hobbies, reading, face-to-face interaction.
Yeah.
It's not hard to see how this plays out in a child's life.
And it's not just kids, even for adults.
Right.
Many of us feel like social media actually makes life worse, not better.
Mm-hmm.
Yet we're all caught in this system, struggling to break free.
That's precisely what makes it a collective action problem.
Yeah.
We recognize the downsides, but we're all stuck in this cycle of overuse.
Mm-hmm.
And as Haidt points out, this rewiring has distinct impacts depending on gender,
Right.
which is crucial to understand.
Okay.
It's not a one-size-fits-all situation.
Let's dig into that. What are some of the specific challenges girls face in this new landscape?
For girls, social media often becomes a breeding ground for intense social comparison.
Oh.
Imagine constantly being exposed to carefully curated images of perfect lives and bodies.
Yeah.
It's easy to see how this fuels perfectionism,
Mm.
anxiety, and even relational aggression as girls compete for social validation.
I see.
Then there's the increased exposure to harmful content and social contagion,
Okay.
particularly on platforms like TikTok, where trends, both positive and negative, can spread like wildfire.
It's like they're navigating a minefield of unrealistic expectations and constant scrutiny.
Exactly.
And what about boys? How are they affected differently?
We tend to see boys withdrawing from real-world effort,
Mm-hmm.
retreating into video games and online spaces,
Yeah.
often engaging with pornography at increasingly younger ages.
Wow.
Haidt argues that this deprives boys of the challenges and risk-taking
Right.
that are essential for developing into healthy, well-adjusted men.
Okay.
It's a different kind of struggle,
Yeah.
but equally concerning.
This already concerning trend becomes even more alarming when we consider the impact of artificial intelligence. What happens when AI supercharges these existing problems?
That's a question that keeps many researchers up at night.
Yeah.
Haidt, for instance, has made the rather unsettling prediction that advanced technology,
Mm-hmm.
if we're not careful,
Right.
could make virtual relationships,
Okay.
even relationships with robots,
Mm-hmm.
more appealing than real ones,
Yeah.
particularly for boys.
Wow.
It's a chilling thought and one we need to seriously consider.
It sounds like something straight out of a dystopian sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
Thankfully, though, experts like Haidt and Tristan Harris don't just present us with problems.
Right.
They also offer potential solutions,
Mhm.
ways to break free from this seemingly inescapable collective action problem.
Absolutely. One of Haidt's most prominent suggestions is the adoption of 4 straightforward norms.
Okay.
These aren't about being anti-technology, mind you.
Exactly.
They're about reclaiming childhood and giving
Yeah.
kids the time and experiences they need to thrive.
Okay, I'm all ears. What are these 4 norms? Let's get into some concrete action steps.
The first norm is pretty straightforward. No smartphones before high school.
Okay.
The idea is to stick with basic flip phones,
Right.
delaying that constant access to the internet and the addictive world of apps.
It makes sense. Do we really need 10-year-olds scrolling through Instagram or getting bombarded with notifications all day long?
Exactly. The second norm focuses on social media. No social media before the age of 16.
Okay.
This one might tougher to enforce,
Yeah.
but it's crucial to recognize that these platforms are intentionally designed to be addictive.
Right.
And even we as adults struggle with that.
Oh, absolutely.
Imagine being a teenager trying to navigate that world.
It's a recipe for disaster. Okay, what's norm number 3?
Norm number 3 is phone-free schools.
Okay.
This is a big one, but it's absolutely doable.
Mm-hmm.
Schools can implement phone lockers or pouches, ensuring that phones are only used for essential communication to and from school. Imagine the benefits of kids actually talking to each other face-to-face during lunch or between classes.
It sounds almost revolutionary in this day and age. Okay, what's the final norm?
The fourth and final norm is all about reclaiming real-world experiences, increased childhood independence, and free play.
Gotcha.
This goes hand in hand with reducing screen time.
Right.
We need to give kids back the freedom to explore, play, and just be kids in the real world without constantly being tethered to a device.
So it's about restoring balance, less overprotection in the real world, more protection in the virtual world.
Exactly.
These norms might seem radical to some, but they really get to the heart of the issue. What gives me hope is that it's not all doom and gloom.
Right.
We're starting to see real-world action, signs that people are waking up to the urgency of this problem.
You're absolutely right. There's a growing awareness, and with it, a sense of momentum building.
Oh,
Take
yeah.
the Wait Until 8th pledge, for example. This movement, started by parents concerned about the impact of smartphones on young kids, has gained significant traction. It's even evolving to wait until the end of the 8th, further emphasizing the importance of delaying smartphone use.
I love that parents are stepping up, drawing a line in the sand, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
What are some other encouraging signs you're seeing?
Across the pond, the UK is really leading the charge.
Okay.
They have a burgeoning movement for a smartphone-free childhood,
Mm.
and they've already implemented strong legislation like the Age-Appropriate Design Code, which holds tech companies accountable for protecting children online.
It's inspiring to see a nation taking such decisive action. Are there any positive developments here in the U.S.?
There are, actually.
Okay.
We're seeing bipartisan agreement in the U.S. Senate on the issue of kids and tech, which is pretty rare these days.
Wow.
Additionally, 40 state attorney generals are currently suing Facebook and Instagram over the harmful effects their platforms have on children.
Wow. 40 attorney generals. That's a serious statement. It seems like we might be reaching a tipping point, similar to what happened with big tobacco.
The parallels are striking. Remember how smoking was once commonplace, even considered glamorous?
Yeah.
Public opinion shifted dramatically as the health risks became undeniable.
Right.
We saw lawsuits, regulations, and massive public health campaigns. It's entirely possible that we're witnessing a similar shift in attitude towards social media and its impact on young people.
So what can we do right here, right now to be a part of this change? I'm feeling inspired, but I need some concrete steps I can take. Where do we even begin?
Knowledge is power, as they say.
Okay.
I highly recommend checking out Jonathan Haidt's website, anxiousgeneration.com.
I'm bookmarking it right now. What about those of us who aren't super active online? Are there things we can do offline to make a difference?
Absolutely. One of the most impactful things you can do is start conversations. Don't underestimate the ripple effect of a single conversation. Talk to your kids. Talk to other parents. Talk to your child's teachers and school administrators.
Yeah.
Share the information we've discussed today. Even Haidt's 4 norms.
Right.
The more we talk about this issue, the more we normalize these ideas, the faster change can happen.
It's like that old saying, the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good people to do nothing. We have to speak up, take action,
Yes.
and support those who are fighting for a healthier future for our kids.
You're exactly right. We can't afford to be passive or resigned.
Yeah.
The future of childhood, perhaps even the future of humanity, might depend on it.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground. We've explored the problem, discussed potential solutions
Hmm.
and highlighted those glimmers of hope on the horizon. Before we wrap up, I'm curious what stood out to you from all this research? What really
Yeah.
struck you?
You know what I find most fascinating is Haidt's idea that the race to the top in the 21st century might not be about which nation has the most advanced technology,
Right.
but rather which nation raises the most well-adjusted, capable human kids.
Wow.
It's a complete reframing of what success looks like on a global scale.
That is a powerful thought. It's like we've been so caught up in this digital arms race that we've forgotten about what truly matters.
Right.
Raising healthy, thriving human
It's
beings.
a much-needed wake-up call.
Yeah.
It challenges us to think critically about what kind of future we're building.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want a future where technology controls us, or a future where we leverage technology to enhance our humanity?
It's a choice we have to make, and it starts with each of us.
Mhm.
What are some of the ideas Tristan Harris has put forth?
Tristan Harris, the co-founder of the Center for Humane Technology, digs deep into the design of the technology itself.
Okay.
You see, he argues that a lot of the problems we're discussing are not just accidental byproducts,
Right.
but rather the result of very intentional design choices.
I see.
We call this the attention economy,
Okay.
where apps and platforms are designed to keep us hooked,
Right.
to monopolize our attention, often at the expense of our well-being.
So it's not just about individual choices, but about the very structure of these platforms.
Exactly.
The way they're designed to exploit our psychology and keep us coming back for more.
Think about the endless scroll, the notifications that constantly ping us,
Yeah.
the algorithms that feed us content designed to trigger our emotions and keep us engaged.
Mm-hmm.
These are not accidental features.
Right.
They are carefully crafted mechanisms to maximize user engagement,
Wow.
often at the cost of our time, our focus,
Yeah.
and even our mental health.
It's a bit unsettling to think that something we use so frequently, something that's become so ingrained in our lives, could be intentionally designed to be addictive.
It is. But the good news is that recognizing these design patterns empowers us. Once we understand how these platforms are engineered to capture our attention,
Right.
we can start to make more conscious choices about how we interact with them.
So it's not about demonizing technology altogether,
Right.
but about becoming more aware of its potential downsides and taking steps to mitigate those risks.
Precisely. It's about understanding how technology is designed to influence our behavior
Uh-huh.
and then making conscious choices to reclaim our attention and prioritize our well-being.
It's like we need to develop a healthy skepticism, a critical eye when it comes to our tech consumption.
Exactly. We need to become more mindful, more discerning. Ask yourself, is this app or platform truly serving me, or am I serving it?
That's a great question to ponder. It's a bit overwhelming to think about tackling all these complex issues.
Yeah.
Where should we focus our energy? What can we do as individuals to make a difference?
I'd say the most powerful thing you can do is start conversations.
Yeah.
Don't underestimate the ripple effect of a single conversation. Talk to your kids. Talk to other parents. Talk to your child's teachers and school administrators.
All right.
Share the information we've discussed today.
Yeah.
Plant the seeds of awareness, because that's where meaningful change begins.
It's about those small steps, isn't it? Maybe it's suggesting a phone-free dinner at home.
Right.
Or bringing up Haidt's 4 norms at your next PTA meeting.
Exactly.
Whatever it is, taking that first step is crucial.
Absolutely. And remember, you are not alone in this.
Yeah.
There's a growing movement of people who are concerned about the impact of technology on children.
Mm-hmm.
Connect with them, share your experiences, and support each other.
Right?
Together, we can create a future where technology serves humanity, not the other way around.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into this important, albeit a bit unsettling topic,
Yep.
what's the one thing you want our listener to walk away with? What's that small step they can take today to be a part of this positive change?
I would say this: don't give in to resignation or despair. We are not powerless in the face of technological advancement.
Mm-hmm.
We have a choice, and it starts with awareness.
Right.
Start paying attention to how you feel when you're using technology.
Yeah.
Are you feeling stressed, anxious, or depleted?
Uh-huh.
Or are you feeling connected, informed, and inspired?
Yeah.
Once you start to become aware of the impact technology has on your own well-being,
Right.
you can start to make more conscious choices.
It's about reclaiming our agency.
Right.
Remembering that we have control over how we interact with technology rather than letting it control us.
Precisely. And it's about remembering that technology is a tool. It can be a powerful tool for good,
Mm-hmm.
but it can also be misused.
Right.
The key is to use it wisely, intentionally, and with our well-being in mind.
So as we leave you to ponder all this,
Yeah.
what final thought would you like to share? What's that lingering question or idea you want our listener to wrestle with?
I'll leave you with this. Imagine a world where childhood was once again about play, exploration, and real human connection.
Hmm.
What would it feel like to reclaim that sense of wonder and possibility?
Wow.
It's a vision worth fighting for, and it starts with each one of us.
Beautifully said. Remember, you have the power to shape the future, both for yourself and for generations to come. The world needs you to be fully human, now more than ever.
Until next time, keep diving deep, keep asking questions, and keep believing in the power of positive change.